How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. This video is going to be a little bit different because I have to record part of it tonight, which is actually Thursday, and then part of it I'm going to be recording tomorrow morning really bright and early because I have family that's coming over tonight and some more family that's coming over tomorrow night, so I have to kind of chop up when I'm recording this. So I'm recording everything that I can tonight, and then tomorrow NAT is releasing their spot tanker rates for the last week. I'll be getting up early, putting the last part of that on this video, and then I will have it up for you on Saturday. So we are going to review GNUS. So GNUS brands, what's been happening with the stock recently. We're going to be looking over NIO stock, which is something that I've never talked about. And then we are also going to be going over the spot tanker rates for NAT. So there's just a lot to cover over the last few days, and I haven't had enough time to do a dedicated video on each of these. So we're going to put them together. So I suggest staying through to the end because these are three really interesting stocks. But if you want, I will put those timestamps below in the description so you can skip around if you want. But before we get started, if you don't mind hitting the like button, and also if you want some free stocks with WeBull, you get 2 free stocks when you sign up, one worth up to $1,400. You have to deposit $100 though, so just make sure you do that. And then with M1 Finance, I have a link down there too. That's my favorite brokerage app, and I have a link so that you can get started with that. So I appreciate it, but we'll get right into it here. As you can see, GNUS has had kind of a rough week. If we look back from last week Thursday, since the market was closed Friday because of the 4th of July, it's been down pretty heavily, so about 33%, which means that it was basically cut into thirds, and you get 2/3 of what you started with, which is unfortunate. This is something where the CEO talked about how they had an exciting new business development, which I'll link to that video here, but he talked about how they had this new exciting development. It was going to mean a lot for the company, and the stock price shot up. So it shot up really significantly. It went up 45% in just a few days, and then it came back down to the level that's at now. So there has been some news since then. So if we look over here, they had an exclusive CEO interview where he talked about how they were going to hit profitability by the end of the year. So they talk about how volatile the stock is, the true value of the stock, which is hard to kind of tell with these types of stocks because they produce content. They also talk about how with this kind of content, they're trying to not just sell the content, but they're trying to be able to sell products based on the content. So it was kind of interesting to read over. If you want to look it up, you can. But he says here, I see by the end of the year, we have hit a number of important engines going on right now. So he's talking about how they will hit profitability by this year, which doesn't really mean too much to me because that just means that they're not losing money. I have no idea still how much money they'll make, but this caused the stock to go up a little bit just over the last day or so. It has gone up about 2 to 3%. So that is something that kind of drove the stock up a little bit there. So the next stock that I want to talk about is NIO, which is a company that I have not talked about, and they are in the electric car space. So they are trying to be like the Chinese Tesla. So they mostly make SUVs for electric cars, but as you can see here, they did quite well today. They're up about 15% or so if you include the post-market, and then over the week, they've been up a lot too. So a lot of people have been talking about NIO recently, and rightfully so. They're up 62% on the week. And if you go even further back, they're up higher. They're up 131% on the month. They're up, 315% on the 6 month. So they are a stock that a lot of people are interested in. And I think that's mostly because a lot of people are looking for the next Tesla. So we've seen Nikola go up in price a lot. We've seen Hillian, we've seen now NIO, and everyone's looking for the next Tesla. Tesla is a $200-something billion market cap company, and these companies are pretty small. This one is 17.5, so still very sizable compared to something like even a Ford. So they're edging up on Ford. I think Ford's around 30 or 40 billion, and they sell tons more cars than this company does. But unlike Nikola, they actually have a product. So Nikola has a really big market cap, and they have not sold a product yet. They have not sold a truck or a semi-truck. So at least NIO has that going for them, and they have pretty cool cars, honestly. But I see some cons with NIO and some things that worry me a little bit. But we'll start with the pros. So they are owned 15% by Tencent, which is a huge company in China. That means that I assume that they'll be able to get money pretty much whenever they need to. Tencent wants to see them do well because they own 15% of the company. That also means that they kind of have a foothold in China. So they're a Chinese company, but the fact that they are owned by one of the largest companies there kind of helps them out and helps them be able to spread their influence around, which is going to be really good for the company, I think, because that is a massive market there in China. They're also in the electronic vehicle or electric vehicle space, which is going crazy right now. So just looking at all those stock prices, if you could have an index of just those stocks from a couple months ago, you'd be up so much right now. But I think that there are some cons to it. So first of all, one of the pros is that it's up so much, but then also that's a con. So it was $1.32 less than a year ago, and it's up 1,000%. I find it hard to believe that there were this many analysts and this many people that had this stock wrong, that it could go up 1,000% and be warranted in less than a year. This is something where things change all the time, but it makes me a little bit worried that it's gone up that much. I mean, I don't typically invest in companies that have gone up 1,000% in a year. That usually is kind of a red light to me, or a stop sign there that I don't really want to invest in them because they might be overvalued. And the fact that Tencent already owns 15% of them, it stands out to me that if they were 10 times less expensive a year ago, that if Tencent really felt like they were like a fantastic company and they were trading for pennies on the dollar, they would have bought more than 15% of them, right? So 15%, and they were a $1.7 billion market cap company. So they spent maybe 200, 300 million on them. I think that they would have spent a lot more, just bought the company outright if possible. At that point, I think that there is a little bit of a red flag there because Tencent doesn't own more of them. The other thing that I think people don't really realize is, while they are an electric vehicle company, it's not like other car companies can't get into this space. So a lot of car companies that are already big, like Ford, are producing their own electric cars, and that's like in the next year or two. Companies like Ford have so much reach and so much pull that they're going to have a massive audience to market their car to, and a lot of people already just know Ford is Ford. So like they understand what they're getting when they buy it. So if someone's a Ford family and they want to get an electric vehicle, they'll probably go with Ford, compared to NIO, where yeah, they can try to push their product, but no one knows who they are except for that they're a small electric car vehicle company. They also have to get up to scale, while Ford and other large car companies already have massive scale to work on. So that is just something that kind of turns me away from it too. I think that a lot of people just think if you're an electric car company that you're going to grow massively, but if these larger companies start getting market share of the electric car space, it's going to be harder. Now, this is in China, like I said though, so that kind of protects them away from some US companies, and the government can kind of control what goes in and goes out, but it's still kind of a red flag to me. So that's kind of what I think about NIO. Now we're going to go to when I am super groggy and have to wake up at 5 a.m. and talk about NAT. Alright, so NAT just released their numbers for the week. So as we can see here, the VLCCs did pretty well. They went up almost 50% on the week. Suezmax went up about 40%. Aframax went up a significant amount too. PMAX is about the same. And these clean carriers are actually down. The LR2 and LR1 are down on the week, and LR1 pretty much got cut in half, which is huge. I mean, that's a huge drop. And then the MR is just up a little bit. So overall, the tanker index went up about 30 to 35%. And that might be one of the reasons that NAT has been fluctuating throughout the week, just because of the fact that they increased the amount that they can make in the spot tanker rate pretty drastically, and then it dropped back down, and it's a very volatile stock still, as we can see here. But that is good news to see that the tanker rates are going up, even if it's just on a week-by-week basis. If it goes up, that's obviously better for the stock. And as I've talked about over and over, this is one of the slowest months for the spot tankers. And we also have OPEC trying to decide in the next few weeks whether they're going to continue to maintain that oil cut. So that will be really interesting to see also. But as I talked about, these clean carriers got cut again, and that might be the reason that STNG is down so much. So as we can see here, starting last week Thursday, it has gone down about 9%, and this is again Friday morning, so anything that happens on Friday throughout the day I will not know of, but you can see here that it's down pretty big. Even just yesterday it was down pretty significantly, about 5%. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you liked it. I woke up really early today to get this done, so thank you very much. And again, if you want links to WeBull or M1 Finance, like I said, it really does help me out like amazingly, drastically. So if you want those and you want to get some free money from WeBull, you can deposit $100 and get 2 free stocks. And then you can also get up to $1,400 from one of those stocks. And if you want to start M1, you can invest. It's my favorite brokerage app. That's the one that I use the most. And you can invest with my link down there. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for commenting on your thoughts on these 3 different companies in the news. Bye.